Welcome, everyone. We'll wait a couple minutes for everyone to join, and then we'll continue building our amazing memory market game. So the goal for today is, I would say,
Build a game.
to build a game, to continue where we left off, which is to, prototype a little bit of the conversation, prototype a little bit of the experience, and start implementing it both from a voice model perspective and a backend perspective. Then we're gonna maybe start looking at persistence, session attributes, and if things go well, we'll also consider cloning it into the command line interface and show you how all of that good stuff works. So
we've just started the stream. Wait a few minutes.
Yes.
And where's the chat as well?
Why did it go back to?
Oh yeah. Good.
Let me ping.
Oh yeah, we've got 21 people all of a sudden.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, and we have another evangelist. Hello everyone. Just sorting some stuff out as per usual. Got a few people in the chat. Rahman is Nisabal. Hello. How's everyone doing?
Trying to figure out how to change the Twitch stream.
Can you speak Spanish? I don't think whatever that says. I don't think we're doing that. Cool. I'll talk about what we did last week.
Yes.
Yes. So if you are joining the stream, if you're new to this stream, this episode, basically myself and Andrea last week we spoke about all the good games you can build with Alexa. The best ones you can make, the not so good ones, and just a bunch of tips and stuff like that you can use to create amazing experiences. And yeah, we spoke for about 2 hours, and then I think the last hour we were taking suggestions from the chat, and we had the Chad, we had got a few people, and I think we came to a decision of a market related game,
a memory market,
sorry
where where the goal was you are auditioning to become Alexa's assistant, and you basically need to remember a bunch of items that Alexa is putting in her shopping basket. So normally Alexa's doing things for you. Well, in this case we're gonna flip it around a little bit, and we're doing things for Alexa. In this case, remembering all of the things that she put in her shopping bag. Yeah.
Basket.
So one of the things that I've been working on with Jamie since the last stream is figuring more a bit about the storyline. So I've been taking some notes on how the game should go. I've also decided on a backstory for why Memory Market exists. So to give you some context, what I'm trying to go for is, or what we're trying to go for, is the feel of the game should be a bit like GLaDOS from Portal. So the player is auditioning to be an assistant to the voice assistant. So people who play the game are auditioning to be assistants for Alexa, as you were saying. And to do that, they must pass this very challenging memory test. And this test will get harder and harder. And Alexa will be quite strict, right? And this will also open up a good opportunity for humor, because given that Alexa's usual voice is quite neutral, it's not too over enthusiastic or too cold. It's just neutral.
Yeah.
Depending on what we write, it could lead to some fun.
Yeah.
To some fun experiences.
I guess we can shake things up if we use SSML or something, but whatever. I mean, maybe as you're saying, going for GLaDOS. And if you're not familiar, Portal, very very popular game, where there was this like insane robot, very monotone in everything she said. So yeah, this could kind of fit the bill quite nicely here. The other thing I like about the whole supermarket theme is if you've been to a supermarket before, you know that everything's organized by aisle. You've got the produce, you've got the dairy, you've got all of those. So we can almost make a sort of progression based game based on what part of the supermarket you're in, and then you can refer to earlier parts. Because that's what most people do. They start from the aisle 1, they end in aisle 10, and we can have Alexa say, "Oh, what did I buy in aisle 5? What did I buy in aisle 2?"
Yeah.
So I mean, this is, if I'm honest, it sounds really hard, this game, but
it's actually
why not?
it's a really simple game to implement actually on the front end, where basically the input of the user is just items. It's a bit more complex in the back end because we're going to have to keep track of state. We're going to have to keep track of session attributes. Like what are people adding to the basket? What are people taking, or what is Alexa adding to the basket? What is Alexa taking out from the basket? So that'll be more on that'll open up good opportunities to look at session persistence, data persistence, and state management.
There's also the fact if the user quits the skill and then they want to carry on from the certain part of the store that they're in, like at a later
time.
But that's there's so many forms of persistence that so I guess we'll see what we're able to cover.
So let's cover again why we're doing this. I just want to go and recap a little bit about the Games Challenge. So again, if you are a developer in the UK or Germany, Austria, Ireland, please make sure to participate in the Alexa Skills Challenge. You have to submit a game and have it certified or submit it for certification by the 17th of October, and this will help you out, or this will qualify you to be considered for the challenge, and there are a bunch of prizes up for grabs. If you want to sign up, remember to go to alexagames.bemyapp.com.
I can get some of those prizes up as well.
Yeah.
Really go through those.
Some awards.
Which is always good.
Yes. While you're doing that, alexagames.bemyapp.com. If you haven't signed up yet, do it. This is a great opportunity to be part of the Games Challenge. All right. So here's what we have so far. Please be mindful that I have added everyone from the first episode to the credits. You are hereby referred to as the Twitch gang. We were also discussing to make sure that if you just tuned in and you haven't watched last week's episode, feel free to keep watching. But if you want to catch up on the context and maybe see some best practices, make sure that you go and watch episode 1 and 2 in the videos collection on Twitch. They should be available for the next week or so, and we are also working on uploading them to YouTube.
Yep.
So they will all be available for future viewing.
Yes.
All right. So,
also, just before we start, we also had a quick question from Ambient123. So, what are the prizes that for the actual game challenge we were discussing? Well, there's quite I'll quickly go through them. We have 5. So you've got the best game skill for the Echo Show or Echo Spot. So if you're using the render template and stuff like that, make sure you've got a nice multimodal experience. Best voice adaptation of a game. So that's of course the best voice experience of an already existing game that translates well into voice. Customer's choice most engaging game skill. So of course the game skill that's most popular with customers based on rating and based on popularity and stuff like that. Best game skill for kids, self-explanatory. Make sure they're acceptable by the whole family, but especially the little ones. And finally, the best localized game skill. Awarded to the highest overall scoring skill based on the judges' score that was localized to the Alexa Skill Store on Amazon.de or UK. So don't forget, this is both UK and Germany.
Yes.
So
and you can get a lot more details at alexagames.bemyapp.com, including being able to sign up for office hours with yours truly, where we can discuss your specific use case if you have any questions, whether it be technical or non-technical.
So plenty of opportunities. Why not?
Yes.
What you got to lose?
Please sign up and please participate. Don't think that your skill is not good enough. At least try building one to participate in the challenge. Cool. So let's close this here we talked about the challenge. Let's go back to Storywriter. So last time we ended up by, let's say, having a mock script of our game. I will use I added while you were since last time I've made some tweaks to the copy, at least to the welcome copy, so this is also the first time Jamie is seeing this. I will ask for your approval.
Okay.
And again, the reason why I made this change is to make it more similar to the feel that I was going for, which is the GLaDOS style portal assistant, right? Where Alexa, where you're auditioning to be the assistant to the voice assistant. For viewers or for fans of The Office, you will know what I'm referring to. So Memory Market is like so for now, always open to change. So the user says, Alexa, open Memory Market.
So that's our invocation name, Memory Market. Okay.
Do you want to be the user and I'll be Alexa?
Okay, fine. So, Alexa, open Memory Market.
Okay.
Okay.
Music TBD.
Yeah.
Hello. Welcome to the Alexa Assistant Training Program. All prospective assistants to the voice assistant are put through this mandatory memory training program. Although a perfect score will not guarantee your placement, a less than perfect score will result in failure. You are, however, free to attempt this training program as often as you would like. I will not wait for you to be ready. Assistants should always be ready. Mm-hmm. We are getting started. Let's start off easy with a warm-up round. I'm walking along the vegetable aisle. I put aubergine and carrots in my trolley. I then pick up some potatoes, but put them back as I already have some at home. I also anticipate buyer's remorse with the carrots, so I put those back too. What is left in my trolley?
So I would say aubergine. Okay.
Aubergine. I said this was easy. Don't get used to it. Etc. Etc.
Yeah.
So this is the intro. I just wanted to give a feel for the theme immediately. And obviously we'll tailor the intro so that if the user is coming back again, they won't get this whole big blob of text. Instead, they will see maybe welcome back. You again.
Yeah.
Are you trying this?
And then you can do it based on how they play. So like, the guy who forgets the carrots or something. So you can use your session attribute, your attributes to really customize.
So we can save what things people failed at. We can save how good people are. We can save anything we want and use that again when people come back and tailor the experience that way.
I'll like that.
So high level structure of the game will be. It always starts at the beginning. And as we move forward, I would say the game gets more and more complex and questions are generated, automatically. So we won't have pre-built dialogues. I think
they'll be dynamic.
Maybe offline we'll be creating the core code logic that's not really Alexa related. It's more like a game engine, which we will maybe explain in the next episode. But we will create an engine that will make the questions dynamically, and we'll also tailor the responses to make them dynamic but contextual. So not just random responses like, hey, welcome back, how you doing? But as you were saying, contextual to how good the player is, to how bad the player is, and how many games the player has played already. Like if a player has failed 10 times in a row, what Alexa will say to the user is going to be, like,
this job isn't for you.
Yeah. Are you still, why haven't you given up yet?
Yeah.
But props to you for continuing, because tenacity is a critical asset of an assistant to the voice assistant.
Yeah, and I think stuff like that takes time as well. Like all of this, of course, we can hard code this, and it can be the same responses every time and the same sort of thing. But as Andreas said, creating a system where it's more random, I suppose, where you could have like a pool of items from each aisle, and then a pool of phrases such as, there's so many ways to say, I changed my mind, where, I put this one back. What did you say? I had buyer's remorse. Just to shake that up so much, where it's almost like every question Alexa asks is like, it's like not even remotely similar to the prior one. Like this, again, that takes time, but I think overall it improves the whole voice experience.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
By the way, for those viewing, please feel free to write anything in the chat. We are monitoring the chat. Jamie here is monitoring the chat, whereas I'm controlling the stream and the screen sharing. So feel free to write anything, any suggestions as we go on. It'd be great to have user input. The whole idea of the game came from the users in the previous episode. So we really want this to be a community created game, not just us. All right, so now comes the time where we have to go from this text to actually figuring out what intents we need, what slots we need, and how we're going to structure the back end of the game to make sure that it satisfies the level progression of getting progressively harder. How are we going to theme that? How are we going to save attributes? What attributes will we save? All that good stuff. So I purposely didn't come here, having done too much, because I want this to be
from scratch.
Yeah. As I said, I did, make a bunch of notes.
There's proof.
There's proof. I also, I worked on the script, and I've been, doing this phase of skill building for quite a while, so I don't think that will be the bottleneck. But I'm happy. I'm not happy. I'm interested and excited to see what everyone will. No, I'm never happy. What everyone will come up with. So,
last thing, again, as Andreas said, talk in the chat. Like, you're helping us build this game. So if you don't like something we do, or you have a better tip of Alexa saying something funnier, because we're comedians, but we're not the funniest in the world. So if you have something better, let us know.
Yeah,
and we will do it. Because this is even our idea,
Yeah, exactly.
This is someone,
Exactly. This is a viewer who's like, why don't you make a memory market?
It's about Pi, I believe, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Like this Pi.
Cool. So, well, obviously this will all happen in the launch request, right? So let's launch request. No yawning, Jamie.
No, there was something in my...
So launch request, and the launch request will have a long welcome, first time users.
And the music as well, is that that's probably regardless, right?
Yeah, that's going to be a nice to have that we might add either using the Ask Sound library, which we will cover later, or we'll add later on.
No, but I meant, do we want to play that every single time,
or
maybe
just a short snippet, just to give it
maybe
a
like
signature?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree with that.
So this is the long welcome. And now we're going to have a short welcome, returning user, which will be dynamic. So I think I'm going to move this to a text editor because it's going to be.
Can we not zoom out a little bit? Okay.
Yes, but I will use a text editor to make sure that we see a little bit better. Okay, let's make this a little bit similar to, nice. Ember, open memory market, Alexa. So now we have the launch request. And the launch request will have a long welcome for new users. And then there will also be a short welcome for returning users, and it will be something along the lines of
you again, or welcome back.
Yeah, it's going to be dynamic, but example will be you again.
Still haven't given up.
Still haven't given up.
We should still somewhat introduce the skill though. Like you again, still haven't given up on becoming my memory market assistant, like just something to call out that
the assistant to the voice assistant.
Yeah, so the user knows. Like it's still shorter, but it's still informative enough that the user knows what's going on.
Well, let's put it positive though. You again. Happy to see you haven't given up on becoming the assistant to the voice assistant.
I don't remember GLaDOS being so positive,
but we want to be.
Alex is not a maniac.
Exactly, like GLaDOS from Portal.
Yeah.
You again. Happy to see you. Happy to see you haven't given up on becoming the assistant to the voice assistant. Maybe you can make it a little ironic on following your dreams of becoming the assistant to the voice assistant.
That's everyone's. Yeah.
Let's not waste time and jump right into the test. Okay. And that's when we start in the question phase. And the question phase will always stem from the launch request. But the answer will trigger, the answer from the user will trigger a answer intent.
So just a quick question. So we're starting the game from the launch request. We don't want Alexa to say, "Are you ready?"
No.
We want to go straight into it.
No.
Okay.
Hence why here I said, I will not wait for you to be ready. Assistants should always be ready. We are getting started.
Okay.
Let's start off easy with a warm-up round.
So the only thing that comes to mind, and we can probably figure this out later. We haven't even talked about normal dialogues and one-shots. Mm-hmm. So I guess in this case, one-shots wouldn't really be a thing.
No.
Okay. As long as it's so, if I did like a one-shot, Alexa could be like, "Hey, slow down, Bucko. You haven't even started the game yet," sort of thing. Because that's the only thing. That's the only point of concern. Yeah. But whatever, we can sort that out later.
So what Jamie is referring to, which is a very good point, is that this is a launch invocation, right? Whereas Alexa, tell Memory Market or tell Memory Market that the answer is bananas. That is a one-shot invocation that would trigger the answer intent.
But if the game and why this wouldn't work is because we're choosing to launch the game directly from the launch request, then as the user, if you're doing a one shot, you're sort of jumping ahead, and then we can still make it work because we can still route the user back, but it's just something to think about. Yes, sorry.
That's okay.
Let's.
It's okay. So we have the launch request, which will have a long welcome the first time, and if it's a returning user, we'll generate it dynamically. But an example is, "You again, happy to see you haven't given up on following your dreams of becoming the assistant to the voice assistant." Let's not waste time and jump right into the test. And then we have the question phase, which will start guiding the user through the test. And we said last time that we wanted to use the aisles of the supermarket to be the various difficulties. So let's start sketching out what I'm going to delete everything because I want to.
And another thing I just thought of talking about making it more dynamic in the future is that not every supermarket is going to be the same, so we can randomize the order. In fact, or every time the user plays the game, the order is different.
Yes.
So this makes it a little bit more of a unique experience.
Okay, so we'll use like the first aisle, which will have a type of aisle, so like produce, fruits, or vegetables, fruits, meats, frozen. What else?
Sweets, like confectionery.
Sweets,
it's not that supermarket. They're not licensed. What about like in the bathroom, like toiletries,
household supplies.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
And we can keep it like this.
Yes,
we can always add
fine.
more.
6 is
so
fine.
There's going to be a type of aisle. So the aisle object will have a type of aisle, a difficulty associated to it. So the difficulty could be easy, medium, hard, impossible.
And so a question now: how does difficulty come into play on the aisle? Are we going to be asking the user to remember more information, or how does the longer work?
We'll talk about that.
Okay, fine.
We'll talk about that. So Laldi Labs makes a very good point. Thanks, Laldi Labs. saying, why don't we also add some seasonal stuff,
That's a good
which
one.
can be a wildcard one that we can make that
bonus
we
round
can
or
use
something.
as like bonus round
Yeah.
or to keep with current events that we can always dynamically
Yeah.
change. You know, like Halloween,
Yeah. Halloween's coming out.
a
Christmas
Halloween
in a few
section,
months.
Christmas. You know, I put some baubles,
Yeah,
and then I take the Christmas tree lights, etc. Cool.
that's a very good idea. Good idea. Lolly
Thanks,
Labs.
Lolly Labs.
And hey, the Chad. In fact, this was I think this was the Chad's idea as well.
I think it was.
You liked pie, I think, and then you. Anyway, well, we're now making memory markers, so
Okay.
feel free to help out.
Okay. So easy, medium, hard, impossible. I don't want to get too, sophisticated with easy, slightly harder. No, we're just gonna go with like hard. And these can be generated dynamically. So
So now we need to think of what items are in each aisle.
yeah. So not yet. I want to talk about the structure of the game first. So we have the type of aisle, which can be of various types, including seasonal. Then we have the difficulty, which easy, medium, hard, impossible, which will be dynamically generated. So we'll have rules of what creates an easy, medium, hard, or impossible level, and we will generate those dynamically, picking from values in the current aisle. Let's discuss what makes something hard, because I want the input to always be relatively simple. I don't want it to be like, you have to say like 10 things in a row. I want it to become harder in the thing that you need to remember, but there's always just one input.
But it's also maybe we should base difficulty around how forgetful Alexa is.
Yeah.
How much she asks you to remember. I know we want to keep it fairly simple, but
Yeah.
still she might add more, add less.
Like did I add carrots?
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of this is going to be because the user really needs to listen to Alexa for these clues about what items she's buying and what she isn't. And the more she says, the more the more confusing it is, because you're like, it's all this filler content, right?
Yeah.
So again, the impossible level, she can just not stop. We'll call it at one point, but she'll speak a lot. She'll be very forgetful, and she'll ask you to remember, one more item than the hard level, one more, go with that.
Yeah. An idea I also had yesterday to make things even more hard is not just in the quantity, but in the speed at which Alexa tells you things. So we're going to accelerate the rate of speech using SSML during the impossible phase or the hard phase by 120% or by 200%. And that way Alexa will start speaking like this really, really quickly. And that way you have to understand maybe as much as a medium level, but things will come at you much faster.
Yeah. This is I don't know. We're making the whole game really hard, but that's good. It's good. Yeah, I like that. I like her speaking faster. We can also use other bits of SSML. We can make her whisper for some reason. We can make her shout. She'll be like, "Oh, I remember," and then something else. There's a lot we can do here.
Yep. Okay, so I want inputs. So let's talk about the answer. What should the answer be? I think the answer should be, or let's talk about questions first. No, actually, sorry. Answers. I want answers to be single answers. The difficulty should not be in the amount of inputs. It should be in how hard it is to remember that input. Difficulty should be based on memory, not on input complexity.
Yes.
And now we can talk about the questions. With the constraint of a single answer, we need to think of how to formulate questions so that only a single answer is required, and by single answer I mean a single slot value, and how we're going to formulate those questions to make it harder and harder.
So quick question on single answers. So what do you mean by that? Do you mean that when Alexa asks a question, I say one word for one slot and then she moves on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So then that's a very. I thought we were gonna pass in multiple, but then of course that can cause some issues.
I think it's. I want it to be more about, like keeping things in memory, rather than having to say them all out loud, because that opens up issues of voice recognition, of will Alexa keep listening long enough for
Yeah.
the whole inputs
No,
to be
you're
said?
right. Completely right.
And it makes things a bit more confusing for the user because they don't know if they have to say everything or just
True.
a specific thing. So by being very specific in what we need from the user, we'll guide them into saying one thing only, and that way we can also control the slot type values a lot more.
And I like that as well because we're not limited anymore. So I think Alexa, she's normally listening for like 8 to 10 seconds or something. Whereas now, I mean, I don't know how much our users will be able to remember, but we could go to unlimited if we want. We could just keep going, asking one answer and next, one answer and next, and one answer.
Yeah.
Again, we're not going to go that far.
So,
but it's an option. It's an option.
So let's say rules. So I would say 3 questions per aisle. Okay? So things get progressively harder every aisle. So we're going to choose a subset of these at every game. So maybe one game you have vegetables, meats, and frozen foods, right? Another game you have sweets, household supplies, and seasonal, right? But you always have 3 questions per aisle.
And there'll be 3 aisles, so
and
3 levels.
3 levels.
Yeah, okay.
Plus impossible level.
Which could be maybe the seasonal bonus level.
Yes, which could be the seasonal bonus level. So you always have 3 levels, so basically 9 questions plus the 10th round, which could be like a really hard question.
I wonder, in terms of another rule, again, I don't know how hard we want to make this, but do we care about the order of things? So if Alexa's put carrots, ABC into her basket, do we want, because the chat actually says what was the 3rd item put into the cart?
Yes.
Is that too?
Yes. So easy.
Going for it?
so let's start determining what makes a hard, easy, medium, or hard difficulty.
So maybe that can be more for difficult / impossible. The order.
Exactly. So let's start structuring this a little better. So easy is just remembering if an item is in the cart. Medium is remembering.
Maybe that as well. Maybe that's for easy and medium. The first one. Or do we want to go straight into the order?
If an item was in the cart or ever was in the cart.
Okay.
Hard can be order.
Wait, shouldn't we flip medium and easy? Because if it ever was in the cart.
No, because you have to remember more things.
Oh, okay.
So with easy, you just have to keep track of what items are in the cart now.
Yeah.
Whereas with medium, you also have to keep track of what items were in the cart and then were removed.
But doesn't that add more leeway?
No, because you're going to say...
if you expected... Okay, fine. If you expected to remember what was in the cart and out the cart, you really are like GLaDOS from Portal.
So, it depends how we ask the question. So your point is true. Like, if we ask the question, were carrots ever in the cart? Then the answer could be yes or no. No, I think we should keep it to... Should we keep it to a yes or no answer?
What? Like Alexa asks, did I ever... Oh, what? So instead of the user saying that the items, they're just saying yes or no?
No.
That might be a little bit too...
Yeah.
Maybe down the line,
Yeah.
we can have Alexa ask those questions saying, did I ever put a carrot in the cart? But I think for now, it's more fun to actually say the items that they remember.
Okay.
But it's good.
Yeah.
Maybe down the
So
line.
how do we... Okay, so basically in this level, in this difficulty, only one item is actually added. So Alexa will ask, what is in my cart? Carrots. Okay?
And what? And so let's say there was another item, and she'll say what else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or the easy is always just one item in the cart. Okay? Or what item? So the questions can be something like what did I just add to the cart?
What is in my? Are you talking about different questions?
Yeah.
What is in my cart?
In my cart, if there is only one item. And what else?
How? I don't know. I can't even think. Whatever, those two. That should do for now. Or tell me what's in my cart.
Yeah,
Can
well,
you-
yeah. No, I'm just thinking of phrase like of question types. Then we can add the variations. So
Oh, you're talking about question types. Oh, for you
yeah,
talking
like
about variations
yeah, like
already.
what did I just add to the cart, which means get last item,
What?
which triggers like
Got it. What is in my cart?
last item.
So you can ask for an equivalent of that. What was the first item
What was
that I added in?
But that's the order again.
Oh, do we not want to do? Wait,
Yeah.
but you're talking about the order in the first one, right?
No.
What did I just add?
This is easy. So there's no order in easy, right?
Or what did I just add to the cart? Is the latest item, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
That's not order. That's just what's the latest one.
that's still order. 'Cause that's the last one, right? All right, we can decide off.
Okay, how about we always make how about we always keep one item in the cart, but as the difficulty increases, the distractions increase. The distractors increase. So, for example, I add carrots, then I add bread, but then I remove carrots because I remember I'm allergic. So we add olives, and we also add celery, but then we remove bread and celery because we don't really need them anymore.
I already
And then
have
we,
celery.
right? I already have celery at home, and then we're gonna add, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
What am I left with in my cart? And there's always one thing, but it's really hard to remember what's in the cart because
So
you have to keep track of everything.
Right. So less about how many items are in the
Exactly.
cart, and more about how much Alexa can distract
It's
you.
it's like visual removing
Yeah.
and adding in your mind.
I like that. And I get talking about the whole voice recognition thing before. That just simplifies things.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Let's do that.
Okay. Okay. So. Or.
No.
Okay. No.
That's good. That's
Okay.
good. I like that.
No, because we could also limit it to like being easy is always one item is left in the cart. Medium is 2 items are left in the cart, and hard is 3 items are left in the cart. And
Yeah.
that way we have slot A, slot B, slot C.
Yeah. Okay. And then impossible still 3.
Impossible will be 3,
but
but
with
will
more
be
distractors.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Let's do that.
I think that's cooler. So, yes.
Yes. Okay.
So,
that should work.
so
So whilst
there
you.
is always only one item in the cart.
So the chat also said, I don't know about this, but can we visit a shop in another language for the impossible round? I mean, there would be some language requirements, I think, by the user.
Oh yeah, and we can get less specific.
Yeah, you can make you could.
So you could say, I add the orange things.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
The
yeah.
orange long. I add the long orange things.
I was trying to think if you had like a foreign food section, like food you can't even pronounce.
Yeah, the foreign food section.
Yeah.
But that makes it harder for the
Yeah.
for the ASR for the speech recognition.
That'll be in version 2.
Yes.
Version 2 maybe. What else did you say? Oh, and then he also said on easy, we're talking about order in terms of what item was put in the basket first and stuff, but also you could almost think about the order in the basket. Like, oh wait, no, that's the same thing. No, never mind. Because he said, is the bread under the lettuce? Oh wait, actually no, that does work. You can ask if items are underneath certain things, but that's still based on order. So.
Yeah. So. Here's I'm just gonna redo everything. And let's make this cleaner. So we're gonna have 6 distractors with hard. Okay.
Oh, so we're not doing 1, 2, 3. We're doing 2, 4, 6. Okay.
No, we are doing 1, 2, 3.
Oh no, but in terms of distractors.
Yeah.
2, 4, 6. Okay.
Items is in there.
Yeah. One item, 1, 2 items. Yeah. Sure.
Yes. Remember 2 items. Remember. Or how about? Oh, I got this. Okay. How about this? In any difficulty, we'll add multiple items to the cart. But in easy, you only have to remember at least 1. In medium, you only have to remember at least 2.
Mm-hmm.
And in hard, you have to remember at least 3.
And then impossible,
Okay.
you have to remember all of them.
Yes.
Okay.
And impossible, no, yeah, but we'll have a maximum of 3.
Yeah, sure.
We'll have a maximum of 4.
So I guess that almost makes things a little bit easier. overall because the users have more choice now.
Exactly, and they could say more than one in the easy round as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that also works.
Okay. Cool. So remember at least one item in the cart.
Of a max of 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of 3, right? Against 2 distractors. Okay. At least.
And just for
2 items
clarity,
in the cart.
what do you define as a distractor?
So, like
well?
for example, I put
Just
in
when
bread
she's-
and then I remove the bread. Or
That's a distractor. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So-
anything that's used to throw
anything
the
that's
user
used,
off.
exactly, because
Okay.
if I just say I added carrots and then I added potatoes and then I add aubergine, what is in my cart?
Yeah.
It's a little easy,
Sure. Oh no.
right? So
Completely.
the distractor is things that were added but then removed.
Yeah.
Or they could even be even worse. Like they could be things like I add the carrots, then I take them out, then I put them out again. Like like net
Yeah,
neutral
yeah.
distractors,
Yeah.
or net negative, or net positive distractors. Like we have a bunch of stuff that we can play with.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So remember at least, and then remember at least 3 items in the cart, plus 6 distractors.
Yep.
Now we have to discuss the distractors. The distractors are things that don't affect the cart,
But they affect the user's
but
mind.
they affect the users' minds.
Yeah. Sounds like mind
they
control.
are designed to confuse, right?
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
It's all good.
Yes. And then the impossible will be remember at least 3 items. Oh, we said we're gonna have 4.
Yeah, so we'll do 4 out of 4 plus 6 distract. We'll leave the 6 distractors.
No, let's just do 3. I think it's simpler to just conceptually think of 3 things,
with
and then
8
we're gonna have
distractors?
like 10 distractors.
Oh, okay. Wow.
It's gonna be
skip
impossible.
the 8.
Yeah.
That's what Windows did. They skipped 9, went straight to 10.
Plus, and then here we can add plus slow speed, right? But we
Yeah.
can do
But I like that. Yeah.
slow, normal, fast,
And then like extra fast. Yeah.
fastest rate of SSML.
Yes.
Okay, distractors, they don't affect the cart, but they affect users' minds. They're designed to confuse. Example.
So what was that first one you just
Yeah.
said? I put one.
Yeah.
Oh, I take it out.
Yeah, no, both. So a distractor doesn't affect the cart. So whatever is added will also need to be removed. Like, for example, I add carrots and aubergine. I think I'm going to make a nice lasagna. Oh no, I actually remembered I need... I'm
allergic
to
lasagna.
Or I actually remember I'm on a diet.
Why not?
Unfortunately,
I take those down.
I gotta put those back. And we can make these harder and harder. Like we can mix them into the other questions. So like this happens, and then later on, you say, "I think I'm gonna make a nice lasagna." No, I'm actually on a diet. Like so that carrots and aubergine are actually added for a while, and then they're removed.
But but they don't affect the cart
At the end.
at the end. Oh,
but,
okay,
but,
fine.
but by the end of the question, they haven't affected the cart. But the adding and removing of them is split across 2 different.
Oh yes, got it. Okay.
Different. So we're really complicating this game.
Yeah, wow.
We're making it super sophisticated. It could actually become like a real memory game.
No, 100. I'm already like getting nervous about actually having to test this.
Oh yeah. Also distractors. The Chad distractors could also be,
Or based on absence of bread if it's not available. Like I want to put in some yogurt, but they're sold out.
yes. Yeah. Random tidbits, not kidbits, tidbits of information.
Yep.
That just distract the user.
Yeah. Of
Hence
course.
distractors.
Of course.
And then what else was suggested in the chat?
Did you see the bit about the banana? Maybe that's too broad.
Yeah, we can also
Like describe the item without saying the type,
describe
the name of the
item in hard impossible mode.
Yeah.
So they actually do affect the cart, but the distractor is in how you phrase the question. So bananas become yellow thingies.
Yeah.
Or yellow fruity things.
Yeah.
And oranges become those
circular
orange
things.
circular balls of orange color.
Yeah.
Or
right.
Oranges are the worst thing to say because the color is.
I know. I was thinking,
strawberries.
How's he gonna get out of this one? Yeah. Strawberries. The little red.
The little red
triangles.
berries that have a name of something that you use to drink liquid from.
Right. Yeah.
It's like super weird, impossible things. That's where we're gonna have fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So I like that we sort of.
We've got a layout. Yeah.
We got a layout, or at least some rules with which we're gonna make this happen. We may tweak some things back and forth, but I think the main interaction will be like so. So it will be interaction. Let's make the interaction here. Will be launch leads to question. Then we're going to have answer, then question, then answer, then question, etc. Right?
So that's 3.
Yeah, we're going to have exactly, yes.
And then there'll be like a summary, I suppose, of each round.
Yes, we're going to have question, answer times 3. Unless user fails.
Why? What happens if they fail?
Well, they get the question wrong.
Yeah.
If user fails, they are deemed how do you say?
Unworthy.
No, unworthy of being the assistant
to Alexa.
No, to the voice assistant.
Oh, to the voice, yeah.
I like to play in words on assistant to the voice assistant.
Yeah.
So like the assistant of the assistant.
Yeah. That could be its that could be its its line. What's the
Yeah.
word? Like a plug line.
Yeah, the tagline.
Tagline, that's it.
Yeah. But are encouraged to train harder and try again another time.
So what if they do succeed?
Okay, exactly.
So that's to be like a summary.
Unless will be like the fallback, right? So here we're gonna do if they succeed, if all 3 questions correct, proceed to next level.
Yep. Or aisle, but yeah, same thing.
Next level aisle, which will trigger another Q&A path. Right?
Yep, that looks good.
So we have like these situations. We have the launch situation, which can be a long first welcome or a returning user short welcome. Then we have the question and answer path or state or situation where you need to answer all 3 questions correctly to proceed to the next situation. And then, regardless of where you are in the level, anytime if you fail, the game ends. You are deemed unworthy, but encouraged to try again. Okay?
So in terms of this layout so far, have we started thinking about the different states that the user might be in? So, for example, when they first launch it, you might change the state to game has started.
Yes.
And then when Alexa asks a question has been asked.
Yeah. So state
you can base it around
game started.
Yeah.
Here.
Yep.
Here we'll have state is equal to
question asked or round 1.
Yeah, or question and answer.
Yeah.
With level set to whatever.
Yeah, we maybe need to store that in like a separate value.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
that's another value.
Or the
so
same.
State is question and answer, and the level will be like easy.
Yeah.
These are 2 different session attributes.
And which question they're on as well, out of 3.
Yes. So let's start talking about the session attributes. So the reason why we're going through this is because these are all things that you should consider before you actually start building the game, right? You need to know exactly what you're going to be implementing in order to make sure that you know what needs to be coded. And the best way to do it is to do it, before you code. Otherwise, when you code it, it becomes a little annoying to do. So let's do for state. We're just going to make an object, and you will have state, which can be started,
So we're making our states.
in progress, or failed. We don't even need a, well, yeah, failed. Then we're gonna have a level. It would be easy, medium, hard, impossible. Then we're gonna have a aisle, so that we can pick the questions.
Okay.
We can generate the questions with the right products.
Yep.
So we're gonna have like all these different aisles. We wrote down here: vegetables, frozen meats, seasonal. Pretend they're all quoted.
Yep.
And then
the current question that's being asked.
Yeah,
out of 3.
current question is.
So it's either gonna be 1, 2, or 3, but we can just do that based on number.
Yeah, no, but we can actually write the question here. So.
Oh, you want the actual question here? I meant in terms of which question, Alexa. If we're always gonna ask 3 questions.
Yes. So current question index.
Index. Okay, yeah, that's a bit. Yeah.
And we'll do like 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Or 0, 1, 2, depending on how nerdy you are. Let's do that. And then current question text can be something like blah 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 blah, right? And then we're gonna have current answer.
What's good about the current question text is we can then hook that up to the repeat intent. So if the user is a little bit forgetful or didn't quite understand the questions, you'd be like, Alexa, can you say that again? Repeat that, and then we now have access to that in our session attribute. We can just call that right away.
Yeah.
Which is very easy.
Yeah. So carrots. Then we're also gonna need a score, right? So, well,
like correct question.
Given that we failed the game. Well, no, because I want the user to accumulate tries. So number of attempts, which will be 0 at the beginning, and will increment, right? Then we're gonna have number of failures, which that's the same as attempts. We'll have number of attempts, which will.
Wait, so how many attempts are they?
Failed attempts. Well, we'll just log them.
Alright, fine.
Number of past. We'll start at 0.
And the chat said the score as well? Or are we keeping track of that?
The thing is, the score is actually determined by a combination of level and current question index.
Oh, if they've made it to 1, they made it to 2, they're correct.
Given that we always end the game whenever they get a question wrong, the score can be determined by the level and the current question index. Because if you know that you are at level hard with current question index equal to 2, it means you've made it all the way through easy, medium, and hard and are on the last question. Same thing with impossible. So we don't need an explicit score. I think we can use these 2 values, level and current question index, to determine what the score is. And the score, I don't know, I think we can just determine it as like 1.
Well, I mean, I guess score can be effective because if the user gets everything right on first try compared to someone who gets it right after a few attempts, they must have a better score.
Yeah.
So maybe you lose half a point if you get the answer wrong. So you can just sort of base it around that, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, you can also think about like multipliers as well. If you get 2 questions right in a row, you get like ×2, ×3.
Yeah. That's true. So we can make it as complex as we want. I was thinking easy answers have 1 point.
Yeah.
Medium answers have 2 points. Hard answers have 3 points. Impossible answers have 10 points. the thing about multipliers is that given that the game ends regardless, then you never have multipliers because you're always gonna have to answer everything in order.
Yeah, no, you're right. Maybe we'll leave those for now. We also got an interesting question from Lordy Labs. What's the motivation for them to return? So the Chad makes a good point. On return, high score on memory market is 7. Would you like to beat this score? So that's using DynamoDB, I suppose.
Yeah,
You can keep track of all of that.
Yeah, so we will actually score highest score so far or something. Highest score, which will be updated at the end of any game. Technically, we should have these sum up to 100. If we have 3, right, it would be good to have them sum up to 100 because I want a perfect score should be 100.
So per round or overall?
Overall, so that if you know that you're at 95, you're almost perfect.
Yeah.
So let's readjust these points because we have 3 here. So 3 times x, 2 times x, 3 times 3, 3 times 1,
3
times 2,
yep.
Times 3, and 3 times 10.
15, 16.
Yeah, that's not enough. So we're going to need like 5 points, which is 15. 10 points, which is 30.
45.
15.
90.
And then the impossible...
It could be bonus point. It's like, the last few points in the impossible answer.
Yeah. Or...
I guess.
Or how about easy, medium, hard... Easy, medium, hard sum to 100. And then you have the impossible round, which can go on infinitely. That way, like, to pass, you need to get 100. But if you get 100, then you can go into the impossible mode, which will keep giving you questions, and you always
harder and harder,
and it just keeps adding points to you.
Yeah, I like the idea of keeping it open ended like that.
Yeah.
Because
so
at least
there's no end.
There's no. It's like Flappy Bird or something.
Yeah.
There's no end. You just keep playing.
And we can have a leaderboard.
Always good to have competition. Can you move levels without getting all the questions right?
No.
There's our answer.
No. So given that this will be a special mode, once you hit 100. We need to make sure that these add up to, so 3 times 20 is 60. 3 times 5 is 15.
So 75.
And
so 25 divided by 3. There's nothing goes into that.
Maths!
10.
So this is 60, this is 30. And...
Wait, but you can't do 10 divided by 3.
I know. But whole... Actually, let's do this. No. Round. Okay, how about this? You start off with 1 point. Okay, just for trying. So this is 3 times 5, 15, right? That way you have... 3 times 3. You have 9. Then you have 30, would be 40. And then you have 60.
Yep.
So
that works.
You start off with 1 point. Or, start off with 1 point. Special mode will be unlocked. And every question, every answer will be worth
5 points, I guess. Or 30?
30 points.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Well, we're going to make
these
them
are going to be hard.
We're
Yeah,
make them
They'll be hard.
And yeah. Okay. Cool.
What else? I think we're good.
I think we're good. Anything else anyone wants to add? But let's just give people like a minute to add anything because we're kind of doing these as we go.
Definitely.
So I like that we established what our game should have.
Yeah,
our states that our game should have, the score calculation, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so we'll wait a minute or two for any last tips or suggestions, and then maybe we'll start making this thing. But I think it looks pretty good so far. I like how it's very well structured. We know the user. I mean, we'll probably. Oh, that's another question. Do we want to explain how specific do we want to get to the user in terms of these rules? Do we want to explain these rules, or is this more for just Alexa to know and calculate?
This is just for us to calculate. The user should just focus on remembering.
On the remembering, yeah. Okay, that's fine.
We could say at the beginning, okay, this is an easy aisle.
But we don't want to say how many points they're getting.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
At the end of the round, we can say, okay, you've earned 9 points or 10 points because you got a point just for trying, and that can be a comedy part.
Yeah.
I gave you a point just for trying.
Yeah.
So now you got 10 points. Now we move on to the next round or to the next aisle, and if they get it right, okay, that gives you another 30 points, which means that your total is now 40. Now we're going to go on to the next aisle, which is going to get even harder.
Yeah, perfect. No, that sounds good.
Okay, now you've made it to 100. Congrats. Your application will now be considered for the role of assistant to the voice assistant.
Yeah.
But if you really want to shine,
I've got a few more things I need.
then try and get the highest possible score, or try remembering as many things as possible as I go into the final line.
Yeah. No, that looks
I like
good.
it.
So we're halfway through. Should we?
Yes, we are halfway through. We'll start implementing. I wanted to, though. I don't think current answer is good enough. We should have a trolley. Object.
Oh,
which
to keep track
is an
what's
array.
it.
So carrots, aubergine, etc. Right?
There needs to be a way to track what is in the trolley.
Exactly.
I agree.
We need to know what's in the trolley at all times.
And then we can just base the user's answers based on this.
Yes. That way, the impossible mode is going to ask for things in previous modes as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have to keep track of. Yeah.
So it's asked like some of the impossible mode questions can be like, what did I add? What was the second item I added in the
second aisle?
Yeah. And since the array will be populated in order, the order of which things are in will always be the order. Perfect.
That really is.
Everything is making sense.
It is.
Everything is like consistent. Which is always a good sign.
Yeah. It's very clear to the user how to play.
Yeah.
But that definitely sounds impossible because I'm not going to remember. Maybe it's just me.
That's why it's called an impossible mode.
Oh, I guess so.
Okay. Yes. So we have a long welcome, short welcome, question phase, the answer, which is going to be quite simple, but we have a different type of aisle, which is going to be themed differently randomly, which will also have an assigned difficulty, which will be easy, medium, hard, impossible. The questions will be generated dynamically, and as the level gets harder, the SSML rate of speech will also get faster to add to the complexity. Then we're going to have answers to keep it simple for the interaction model, and for the input of Alexa, we're going to have single answers, right? I think we did decide to have multiple items, but up to 3.
Up to 3.
Up to 3 items always in the cart. We'll see. We'll see. And
it's just a point there. That's another thing, because we will see, because I bet when we start testing it, maybe we'll come to realize that some of these things maybe don't work as well as we originally thought out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's, I think it's gonna be hard, but maybe it's too easy, or maybe it is too hard.
Yeah.
So the more and more we play with the skill and test it ourselves, the more I think the better outcome at the end of the day. So
yeah,
this is like an amazing start and a good guideline, but who knows?
Who knows?
I wonder how the final skill will look compared to all of this.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Exactly, because if one of the biggest lessons that for those of you who already build skills already know, but one of the biggest lessons is whatever you write down here may sound good and may think you work well, but then when you actually try it out on a voice assistant like Alexa, and there's a back and forth interaction, and you need to cope with whatever restrictions the speech recognition has, or whatever back and forth turn interaction has, or you see that the type of questions are confusing the users.
Right.
I think one thing that we should definitely try and do is have a beta test So we'll have users try it out
Definitely.
and give us feedback. Everything will be as let's say tested as possible
Exactly.
before we actually proceed. Okay.
And the last thing is because me and you, we know all of the specifics about how this works and stuff. But it will really all be understood when, as you said, we do a beta test. We show we just give the skill to the users, and they're like, just launch it, and then we see where it goes. Because maybe they won't understand that. Oh, I have to say the item in the it's all about how well we make this work. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes, I think.
So Laldi Labs, another quiz for bonus points. Alexa reads back the trolley with 1 or 2 or 3 items as bleeps. User responds with the missing items. Get them all for the points. Oh, yes. Let's make a note of that. Good suggestion. So this will be like the
super impossible round.
Or it'll be a part of the impossible round.
Yeah.
Like, in the first tile, I added beep, beep, beep.
We don't have to bleep all of them as well.
Yeah, carrots.
It can be random.
And aubergine.
Because that might trigger
What did I add?
the user's memory.
Yes. Or in the second aisle, and we can either refer to it as the order or as the name. So in the vegetable aisle, I added bleep, carrots, and aubergine. What did I add? In the second aisle, I completely forgot what I added. What was it again?
Yep.
Or the first items from each aisle were, or what were the first items added from each aisle?
You are evil.
Yes. And this is simple for us to do because all we're doing is just picking different values from the array. We know that we're going to have 3 items for each aisle.
Yeah.
So we're just going to either pick the first, like the modulus of 3, right? So the first one of every group of 3, or we're going to pick the second ones from every group of 3, or we're going to pick the first one from the first group, the second one from the second group, the third group. Oh my god, it's going to get evil. It's going to get evil, guys.
Yeah.
Evil.
The other thing that makes me think, if we scroll up a little bit.
Yeah.
So right now we've got the trolley. So is that for the current round? Because I guess we're going to need multiple trolleys for each round, right?
Or how? No. Because given that we end every, so we are going to end every aisle with 3 items.
So there'll be 9.
And an array is a sorted list, right? So we know that the first value of that array is the first value that was added. Therefore, it was the first item of the first aisle.
Yeah.
And if we have some other values here, and this is like the 10th item.
So the 5th one would be
the
the second item of the second.
Exactly.
Right? Got it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Exactly. So basically, we're going to have a helper function that's going to parse our trolley array and pick values that we need.
Got it.
Any other input?
Yeah. So Oxygen Box. Can you somehow incorporate a getting trolley with 1 stuck wheel? if your trolley's broken. Maybe in the next version, maybe.
Yes.
Because you won't get very far with a broken trolley. Or you take a basket, I guess. And then
sorry.
And then Raglan said, questions with more than one vegetable being asked should allow for multiple answers instead of only expecting everything in one sentence every time.
Yeah.
That's also an option.
Yes. And I also love the Chad's idea of coupon codes.
I completely
So some of the distractors, as we were saying earlier, may have irrelevant information, but that then becomes relevant in the impossible round. So you have to remember the coupon codes that was said. You have to remember what accidents happened on which aisle.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Like for example, if there's a PA
spillage or something.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah. Oh, okay, we're getting crazy here. But...
I mean, these are all great ideas that we should note down.
Yeah, I like the idea of like.
Add random info that will then be asked.
So you mean Alexa might say, where was the spillage? Or...
Multipliers. Yes. Yeah. So like coupon codes. spillage, etc.
And then something we talked about before as well. Raglan said Alexa will cut off the player if they take too long. So something like user aubergine, Alexa, what's next? So that's what I think we agreed on that we're only going for single answer interactions. So the user says a item and then rather than multiple, and then Alexa moves on. So what's the next one? Single item. What's the next one? Single. What's the item? Did we not agree on that?
I think we agreed on that before.
Did we not? Wait. I swear that's still in here.
No. We agreed on remembering a total of 3 items, right?
But in terms of, do we say all 3 items at once?
I think it's gonna get annoying to have to
each time.
Yeah.
Oh, then
to have to go like one by one. It's like
okay, but
carrots. What else? Aubergine. What else? Like
so that's very good point, but that's still fine because 3 items is fine. Like if we're talking about 6, 7, 8 slots,
yeah, no, for sure not.
That's going to be way too many. But if we're consistently 3,
yes.
So that's a good point, Raglan. It's a very good point.
Yes. So just to recap, okay, so let's try out the conversation. Okay,
please.
So I'm gonna invent a question, and we will try it out. Okay, so that everyone can see how the interaction will be. So you be the user.
So, Alexa, open memory market.
Hello and welcome to the Alexa Assistant training program. All prospective assistants to the voice assistant are put through this mandatory memory training program. Although a perfect score will not guarantee your placement, a less than perfect score will result in failure. You are, however, free to attempt this training program as often as you would like. I will not wait for you to be ready. Assistants should always be ready. We are getting started, but let's start off easy with a warm-up round. And the warm-up round can be, I am walking along the vegetable aisle. I put aubergine and carrots in my trolley. I then pick up some potatoes, but put them back as I already have some at home. I also anticipate buyer's remorse with carrots, so I put those back too. What is left in my trolley?
Should I say the right answer or the wrong answer?
Try saying the right answer first.
Aubergine.
Correct. I then continue along the aisle and find some very juicy celery to add. I'm debating whether to make lasagna or not. In the end, I opt to make it and I add celery. What is in my trolley at the moment?
So now we talk. So that's
what items are in my trolley now?
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So aubergine and celery.
Yes.
Okay.
And then third, and now we're at the second question of the first round, right? So now it's going to be the last question to conclude the round, which will be something like, okay, I'm nearing the end of the aisle. I find some cute little packaged vegetables. I see a packet of mini courgettes.
Okay.
And a packet of little baby potatoes.
Sure.
I'm undecided between the two, as I find both to be useful for my microwave dishes.
Goodness, okay.
So I opt to buy the courgette instead of the aubergine. So you remove the aubergine and you add the courgette.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to substitute whatever else was in my cart with the potatoes.
Okay.
Right? Or I'm going to add
potatoes. Got it. No, that's good.
Right? So what's in my cart now?
So it was celery, courgette, and potatoes.
I don't know. Yes.
I don't. You're confusing me.
Okay. No, there wasn't any celery.
Oh wait, you took the celery out? Oh, I see. That's why.
Yes, that's why we need to train at this game.
Yeah.
But okay, let's assume you said that right. Then I can say, oh, well done. Your total points is 10, 3 for each question, and 1 because you tried.
Yeah.
And 1 just for trying.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move on to the next aisle, where I may get a little bit more indecisive.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
So now I'm going to pick one at random. It's going to be the frozen food section. All right. I love smoothies. Smoothies are a backbone to a healthy diet.
Of course.
I love making smoothies with bananas, with strawberries, with berries, with spinach and kale. So I'm going to go through the frozen section and add some of those. I go through the section and I find immediately that I'm in the fruit section, and I pick up a bunch of frozen fruits.
Okay.
The first one I pick up is strawberry. The second one I pick up is bananas.
Okay.
And the third one I pick up is
plums.
I decide to put the first two in the trolley.
Okay.
What frozen vegetables are in my trolley right now?
Strawberry banana. Yes. God, I'm really trying to focus here.
It's actually really hard to come up with these
I
questions.
know.
Because I'm trying
You
to
have to keep track and ask
exactly.
the question.
And I'm trying to do it so that it's harder, but it actually ends up being easier. Okay. As I try looking for more fruits, I find some kiwi, which I add to the trolley. I also find some frozen red berries, which I also add to the trolley, and decide that I'm actually going to go for a super smoothie this time and remove the strawberries and add acai berries to the trolley. What is currently in my trolley?
I think you got 4 though.
Yes.
Strawberry,
I removed
bananas,
bananas.
kiwi. No, the kiwi. Oh, you removed the banana.
No, I'm gonna...
Oh, you also okay, fine. So strawberry, kiwi. No, the strawberries are in there.
No, I removed the
I
strawberries.
swear they're in there.
I removed the strawberries.
Oh, then there's 2 definitely. Kiwi, and what was the last?
Red berries and acai berries.
Oh, red. Oh, okay, fine. So red berries, kiwi, and acai berry. Did you say?
Yes. Okay, so we're trying to. Okay, but the point is, you see how when in your mind it seems easy, but then you actually have to figure out how we're going to write these questions, how we're going to generate them, how we're going to make them, hard.
Yeah.
Making something hard is actually hard.
Yeah. Well, this is already pretty hard.
Because I think it's boring to just add a blob of text. It's boring to just make it long to make it hard. I don't think that's the right approach. I think we should find mechanics to make the game hard by having substitutions, by weaving in things seamlessly, so that the distractors need to be well thought out.
Yeah.
So let's start implementing it. So at least we have a
So whilst you sort that part out, another suggestion by Lordy Labs, maybe another distractor is that Alexa could possibly say those aren't vegetables. So you kind of like, I don't know how you do this, but you're kind of expecting the user to realize why would they pick up a sirloin steak in the fruit section. So, but then again, maybe someone left it there. I don't know. How far do you go?
That is sophisticated.
Yeah. We'll next time.
Lordy Labs is evil.
Yeah.
Just kidding, man.
Nice.
So, we will try to start implementing this. First of all, let's save this work because I really like it, and we will save it in Dev Alexa. And we'll make a new folder called Memory Market. And we'll call this notes.rtf. Okay, great. Then we will switch to Chrome. And we might have to refresh this tab.
So and in the meantime, Lordy, so you wanted to clarify. No, I just meant that Andrea read out some fruits for smoothie, then says what frozen vegetables do I have.
Oh. He's nitpicking on my.
Yeah.
On my...
He said he's evil. He's just not that evil. There's a line clearly here, but good. Good morals.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. I'm in my developer console. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so people see it a little better. And what we're gonna do now is create a new skill. I'm gonna start the skill on the developer console by hand, and then we're gonna clone it into our local development environment so that we can use. The command line interface.
It'll be a little bit easier next time.
It'll be a little bit faster so that we can deploy changes instantly without needing to use the browser. So we're going to go ahead and create a skill. Are we happy with the name Memory Market?
I think we are. I really like it. I like the play on words, like MMs.
Yes.
It's nice to see.
Yes. Memory Market. We're going to go for a custom skill. I'm going to use English UK because this device is set to English UK.
British.
And we're going to go ahead and create a
skill. So whilst this creates Oxygen Box, another distractor, the store intercom announcements, maybe using Polly.
Ooh, I love that. We actually did make a note for random info announcements. But the idea, use Polly for this. Amazing idea. Amazing idea.
I like
Thank you. Yes. Cool. So let's go back to. So we're going to make a template.
From scratch, I think, right?
Yes. So we're going to go to choose from scratch. And our invocation name has been set to memory market automatically, which I think is fine, right? Open
fine
memory
with it.
market. We have some built-in intents, as you skill builders probably already know. There's some built-in intents that will that have already been added for us and that control most of are required to be handled in order to pass certification, so as to give a consistent customer experience across skills. So we have the fallback intent, which is triggered whenever a user says something that doesn't trigger any of your other intents with high enough confidence. You have the cancel intent that will be triggered when users say something like cancel. You have the stop intent, which is similar, which will be called when users say like stop, right? The help intent similarly is triggered when users ask for help. You're always welcome to extend these intents, these built-in intents. And the navigate home is when people say Alexa go home, right? When they have a multimodal device. But we're going to add our own custom one, which actually is just answer intent. Answer intent. And the reason we only need one intent is because we'll do all of the state handling in the backend. We'll manage the complexity in the backend of the code, but really anything the user has to say at any time is
Just
the answer.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think that's the best way to go about
Yes.
this. It makes things super simple for the user, so they don't need to know if they have to say things in a certain way. It's consistent, so it's the same thing. And as far as Alexa or the skill code is aware, because of our use of session attributes, the skill knows exactly where the user is, what level they're on, what item they've said, and again, less for the user to deal with, more. It's all handled in the background.
Yes,
which is just so much
all
nicer.
the complexity is not exposed to the user, making it a lot more
It's cleaner, nice
cleaner.
to use.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a little bit like we were talking about yesterday with yes sire. Like just yes no answers. All of the complexity of what's happening behind the scenes is handled by the game itself. Last time we also talked about Garbage Hero, which I promised that we would try this episode, so we'll try it at the end. At the end.
Yeah.
If Florian is watching, please give a shout.
Yes, please.
Or Pretzel Labs. So what?
Before we even think about slump utterances, what are we going to do about our custom? So our slot now.
Yes.
So are we going to use a custom slot? We're going to use search query. We're going to.
So let's see what slots are available.
Or a built-in.
Yes,
exactly.
we could use a built-in slot type. So let's go here and say, I think we should definitely build our own, but let's just try it out. So, item A, item B, and item C. We're going to have different variations of these, but now we have to select a slot type. And let's see if there's food. There is food. We could try them. Let's try using the built-in one, and if it doesn't work, we can always extend it.
Yeah. Or build our own. But I think, this is good.
Yes. Let's just give it type food, and we will see how it works. So here we'll add different variations of these. So we'll do
one with and in between.
Exactly, and
then
all ands.
Yeah. And then maybe one with a leading thing, like a leading phrase. So I choose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The items are
normally and after.
Yes.
And then maybe one's like how about.
Let's use the utterance generator.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
So that we simplify this stuff. This is. I think there's a. Let's see, utterance generator.io. I think it is. No. I know. 69 Labs. Utterancegenerator.com. I know that they built this. So we will have something like my answer, or the answer is, or the items are, or I think. So these are like the prepositions, right? What else could we add as prepositions?
It could be how about.
Is it? How about? Because maybe
it's.
I'm
thinking it's.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Yeah, that's probably enough.
Yes. Then we're going to use item A.
Did we put I think it? Oh yeah.
And
Pre-reality said I think it's, but we've already done I think, so it should be fine.
Yeah.
Even if there's like one word missing, it should still hopefully
Yes.
capture all the slots, so it's not too big of a
Yes.
deal.
Item B. And item C. Let's see if it works.
Oh, the answer intent name, wasn't it?
That's our intent. What?
Should we just...
Yes. Start like. Is it because it doesn't like this empty?
Maybe.
Just try it one last time. No. Okay. I have to talk to Tim about this.
Or maybe we're messing up something here, but it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
So we've already done most of the utterances.
Yes, well, it's definitely my mistake.
Yeah.
So yes, let's just keep it like this for the first test,
Yeah,
and
it
then
doesn't
we'll
need to be perfect.
yeah. Then it'll also uncover things that we need to add to it, so that we need to make sure that it works, and we'll add to it. We'll add to the voice model. What else? I think we're good. Let's just save our work.
So okay, so I was going to say when it's building, I'll just bring something else up. But
Yes, let's
are you
build.
going to build it? Okay, cool. So pre-reality, what was the URL? So do you mind, whilst
Yes.
the interaction model is
Yes.
building, let me share this.
No, my God. Yeah, you share it, but I'm also gonna put it in here.
Yeah, please, that'd be good.
Linkinator.
www.utterancegenerator.com. Oh, muchos thanks. Muchos. Cool. Okay, that should be good. That should
Okay.
probably be built by now.
Yes, or
just
as it's
about.
building, it's fine because we will be creating our Lambda function.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and I'm in AWS now. I'm going to go ahead and go to Lambda. I will create a new Lambda function. We could technically create it from scratch because we're going to use the CLI anyways.
It doesn't.
But let's just
Recently, I've been doing more AWS serverless applications. It's just a little bit
yeah, I know.
quicker.
We're going to just use the fact skill as the basis.
So
of our
yeah,
deployment.
we'll choose fact skill, and then I think we'll just build on top of that.
Yeah, make sure that you're in the Ireland region or North Virginia if you're in the US, or
So
Ireland if
won't
you're
work.
around Europe. These are the two main regions that support the
Alexa skills.
Alexa skills trigger for Lambda. We're going to call this memory market, and we're going to hit deploy.
So pre-reality, are we using SAM for this? SAM?
Yeah, no, we're going to use the SAR, which
Am I missing
is
something?
not a virus, SARS. It is the Serverless Application Repository. So
Right.
basically, it uses CloudFormation under the hood, and it's going to create the role for the Lambda function. It's going to create the Lambda function, and it's going to create the trigger
For Alexa,
for Alexa. So it's going to do all the work for us. And as you'll see here, you see now it's creating the role, it's created the function, and a third thing will appear here, which will be the trigger. And once all three are create complete, and you see there's the CloudFormation stack, you can go ahead and click that, and it'll show you the whole stack that it's created. And that makes everything super easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if we did it from scratch, we'd have to add the trigger manually.
Yes.
We'd have to it's not
Yeah,
needed.
So we're also going to go ahead and click create back skill. Our skill.
So now we're going to hook them up.
Yes. Now we're going to hook them up, which will be by copying, or which will be done by copying this ARN here.
Yep.
This is the Amazon resource name, ARN, to we're back in the developer console now.
And it's built, it looks like.
It's
Construct
built,
model.
yes, build successful, perfect. We are going to go to endpoint right here. Move the mouse enough.
How do you make it?
You have to move it
That's cool.
on Mac. And see, we're at the endpoint section now. I'm going to click on AWS Lambda, and I will paste the ARN as the default region, which I took again from my Lambda console. So we're going to go ahead and save endpoints.
Can you?
Session expired. Great.
You have
Let's
to refresh.
Refresh, reload.
That's fine. We'll just log in again and do our thing. Can you change the name for the functions, permission, and so on later? I don't think you can. I think
Yes.
it's hard.
No. The permission. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Permission, yes, but not the name of the function, because doesn't that?
No,
affect
you can't add. You can't change the name of the function, unfortunately.
Because that will mess up with
You can
ARN.
change any permission,
Just
any
not the
part of the
name.
role, but not the name.
Yeah,
But we won't really need to remember the name of it because we'll be using the Ask CLI.
exactly. And we also had, isn't SAR just pre-built templates for AWS SAM?
I'm
I'm not sure.
not sure. You stumped us there.
Yeah, you win.
I just know that
he said it is. Okay, fine. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you for checking.
Thank you.
Thank you for checking.
Yes. So
Yeah.
SAR is SAM templates.
Yes, good to know. I didn't
Cool.
know that.
Um,
So that's now. So we've now got the back end, we've got the front end. Everything's connected, and
Now I'm going to show you a little cool tool that you can use, which will simplify some of the getting started. So rather than have to, literally code everything from scratch, which we will be doing, but more of the logic side, not just the boring boilerplate code. What we're going to do is copy this JSON, which you find in the JSON editor of your developer console, right? So underneath intents, you'll see the JSON editor. We're going to go ahead and copy this JSON, which is literally just the JSON representation of what we've done in the UI.
Mhm.
And we will go to a new link called alexa.design/code generator.
I'll share this as well.
Yep. And this little tool will allow you to paste in, well, let me copy it again because I copied the
wrong
URL.
Yeah.
Allow you to paste in your interaction model, which is the JSON that we just copied, and generate a bunch of boilerplate. Now it has more than we need.
Yeah, so there's a
It
lot.
definitely has more than we need, almost too much. But it's always easier to cut off things than
And add them in. Yeah.
add them in. So
I agree.
we're going to copy that and use it as our starting point for our Lambda function. You'll see how it generated 785 lines of boilerplate code, which we definitely don't need. But
There's a lot of useful stuff in there. Like I know there's
Yes.
get slot items function,
Yes,
which is
yes.
very, very useful.
yes.
It just it gets rid of the heavy, does the heavy lifting for you.
And we'll go through it as we start modifying our skill. So now that this is saved, we
Should
can
we-
actually try it out.
Yeah, let's real
So
quick.
we're going to go to the
let's test it.
test section of our Alexa developer console.
So what are we expecting? What does the boilerplate
Yes.
code put in
So
the launch
now
request?
when we say open memory market, what we expect to happen is that the launch request will be triggered. And the launch request is going to be, let me look for it.
There it is. Yeah, it should be
Yep,
there.
right here. Sorry, let me just make this. We will transition to a code editor real soon. Just wanted to show you this real quick. So the launch request handler, you'll see that we're using the Ask SDK v2 where every handler has two methods. So every intent is usually mapped to one handler, including the lifecycle requests such as launch request and session ended request. Every handler has two methods, sorry. The first method is canHandle. CanHandle will determine whether this is the right handler to handle the incoming request. And handle will be what is done if canHandle returns true. Right? In this case, canHandle will return true if the request type is a launch request. Perfect. And therefore handle will be used, and we can do whatever we want here. So here it's going to say hello and welcome to Memory Market. Say help to hear some options.
Should we leave that for now and just give it a shot?
Let's just go like that.
Welcome to Memory Market. Say help to hear some options.
Done.
So it's exactly what we set in the session in the speech output in
Exactly.
the code. Very
Exactly.
good.
Hello and welcome to Memory Market. Say help to hear some options. And you should also work on the device because I'm using the same account. So if your Amazon account is with the same email as your devices are, your Amazon developer account is the same as your Amazon account where you have your registered devices. Any skill that you enable for testing will automatically be available also on the device.
So no downloading, no installing.
No downloading. You can immediately try it, and we can say, Alexa, open Memory Market.
Hello and welcome to Memory Market. Say help to hear some options.
Quit.
Cool.
Right?
So much easier.
So we have the simulator here on the screen. We have the device that we can try things on. We have everything that we need to get started.
Cool. So
All
should
right.
we maybe the easiest bit? Should we replace the response with what we've put in our story?
Yes. So
Right, I
we
think.
have a long, and we can also cover some SSML here. So we have a long welcome message for the first time user, which we will use just for the moment as the default welcome message. Also, so we hear how it sounds
Yeah.
like.
So this is going to go quite long.
Yes.
So we'll have to clean it up a little
Yes.
bit.
Yes. Let's use the.
Oh, those things. I never really get those things.
Those are the backticks, which are new ECMAScript 6, I believe, or 7 feature, and they allow you to have multi-line strings and everything.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting. I did not know that. I would have to do like close it and then plus and then...
you can also add. Variables in the string by using $ curly braces variable close braces, and it'll automatically fill in the variable in the string.
That's pretty sweet. So rather than closing the string and then
Exactly.
doing plus and then,
Yes.
that's pretty cool.
Yes,
Well, that's
yes.
you know, even I'm learning things as well. Very good.
Absolutely, especially with JavaScript, things move so quickly, and you really have to keep on it.
Keep on it.
Yeah, keep
That's
on it.
sweet. I did not know that.
So just to show you how quick the iteration is, save. Alexa, let's unmute it. Alexa, open Memory Market.
Hello, welcome to the Alexa Assistant Training Program. All prospective assistants to the voice assistant are put through this mandatory memory training program. Although a perfect score will not guarantee your placement, a less than perfect score will result in failure. You are, however, free to attempt this training program as often as you would like. I will not wait for you to be ready.
Great.
Assistants should always be ready.
I like that.
We are getting started. Let's start off easy, with a warm-up round.
Quit. I love that intro. Because I think
I like
Alexa's,
that
especially Alexa's British voice,
Yeah.
is perfect.
I mean, what can I say? We're so monotone and like it just like you know.
No, because it
Polite.
sounds like a really professional.
I just love the bluntness of it. Like
Yeah.
I would not wait for you to be ready. Assistants should always be ready.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I bet the user's like, oh
Yeah,
okay.
and I like how even though at the beginning of this Twitch streaming we said that Alexa's voice was neutral, actually, it's not really neutral. It's actually a bit positive, and this contrast between like having a positive voice and just not really caring about the user, and
Right,
just
right.
continuing.
Yeah. It's like that teacher-student sort of relationship where it's like she's just talking at you rather than you
Yeah,
know.
I think it really is similar to GLaDOS. I mean, it's completely different.
This is what we're going for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's completely different in terms of tone and everything. But the core concept of GLaDOS was to be someone that, even though maybe is not always very helpful, you have an empathy towards because it kind of accompanies you through this journey, right? Now, I'm not trying to say that we're gonna, be as good as GLaDOS and Portal, but what I am gonna say is that I think that feeling is starting to come through with this sort of intro, with this sort of persona that we're trying to give Alexa for our game at least.
No, it's all adding up.
Yes.
So we had just in the meantime we had a few questions as well. Pre-reality, does the code generator support gadget boilerplate code? I'm not sure it does.
Not currently.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
No.
And then he also said, "I'm being summoned by my toddler." Oh, is the session being recorded? Yes, it looks like Jeff already got back to you, but yeah, these are all recorded under videos, and then I think we'll try and get them onto YouTube as well at a later date.
Yeah. So
don't worry.
episode 1 and 2 are.
Oh yeah, they're on the way, and then this one also on the way.
Will be edited. Yeah.
Everything's on the way, so you should definitely, if you haven't yet, follow this channel on Twitch, and then also go subscribe to the Amazon Alexa developer channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
And you should also follow this channel because there's other great streamers on this one.
Like every day, I think.
Yeah,
there's so much.
There's always some
There's
streaming
too much.
happening, including Jeff Blankenberg, who is also helping us answer questions.
Hi,
Hello,
Jeff.
Jeff.
What's up?
So, yeah. So now we have to start getting into the meat of the question and answer. Rather than get into the copy, which we can do offline so that we don't bore people,
No.
let's start looking at how we manage slots. So if
we've
we
got
go,
that handy function now.
if we go into our little handler, the answer intent, this is where the meat of everything will happen. We will, of course, have helper functions to generate the question. We will have helper functions to generate what is the expected answer. We will have helper functions for everything. But it's important to understand, given that we've used the code generator, it's important to understand what to expect and how the boilerplate code is structured. So here we have same structure, can handle, will result in true only if the intent request is of type intent request and the name of the intent is answer intent. And the way that you see that is by looking at here, right? And the boilerplate code, you see it added a bunch of boilerplate code here, right? Which is just to generate a boilerplate response based on what slots it heard. We can test it out here and say carrots, apples, and bananas. Let's see if it works.
Hello from answer intent.
Hey.
Slot item was heard as carrots. Slot item was heard as apples. Slot item was heard as bananas.
I like how she tries to pronounce items. She's
Item,
yeah.
And you see here how the request is of type intent request, and the intent name is answer intent.
So everything's been correctly put in each
Everything has
slot?
been correctly put in each slot. We see we have apples here as item B. We have carrots here as item A. Everything's perfect.
Yeah.
Good. So rather than use this hugely confusing set of boilerplate code to generate this placeholder response, what we're going to do is delete
hide
everything.
all that.
Just get rid of everything.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is only use the helper function that it comes with, which is really useful. But by the way, the code generator is made by our very own Rob McCauley. He's building this, and
Very useful.
I always use it. I always use it in workshops. I use it all the time because it just gets you
Quick,
started instantly. So shouts out to Rob as well. So what we're going to do here is still use the helper function get slot values, and what get slot values will do is go through all of our slots. So it's going to go through this object here, slots, right? And it will pick up item and value, and if we added any synonyms to our values, which we'll show you how to do, it will resolve those as well. And it'll give us what Alexa heard as well as what the resolved synonym was. So it really simplifies everything.
I mean, and just whilst we're here, I don't
Sorry.
know if we have time. We probably don't have time to talk about it much today. But we have another value there, confirmation status, and that's about using stuff like slot elicitation, dialogue directives,
Yes.
to really again have Alexa do some of the heavy lifting for you, so you don't need to specifically check which slots are empty or which what information is needed. Yeah, it's a bit more complex, so maybe at a later date. But yeah, very useful stuff if you haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah, and we don't really so slot elicitation is basically, as you were saying, and slot delegation is where you can mark specific slots as required and give Alexa the prompts that Alexa should ask to fulfill to elicit specific slot values that are missing. So, for example, if an intent has a bunch of slot values that need to be filled in, you can't expect the user to say all of them at once, right? It's going to be split up in multiple chunks. So you can delegate to Alexa to fill in specific slots from the user using dialog delegation. And all you have to do is provide some sample utterances, and I'll show you how you do that. We won't use it for our game, but it's very important to know how to use it. So you go into each item here, and you mark it as required. And you give the prompt that Alexa should give for that specific item. So in this case, item A. And what you expect users to say. So for example, just item A, right? Or I think it's item A. You can also put different slots here as well, like item A and item B, right? So if the prompt is where are you going to, the user could say Tokyo, but the user could also say Tokyo tomorrow at 5 p.m. And those are 3 slots that could be filled in at once without needing to ask them individually. So once you're done with that, all you have to do is if the dialog state is, let's go back to the testing situation, but once the dialog state is in progress or started, you just delegate to Alexa to fill in all the missing slots, and once it's completed, you know that your slots are filled in. Your required slots are filled in. The good thing about this is that once you do opt to use dialog delegation, the code generator will automatically detect this and add the snippet of code that will delegate automatically to Alexa to fill in any missing slot value. So you don't need to do any of the boilerplate code, but it literally is just checking if the dialog state is in progress or is not completed and submitting a delegate directive.
Yep.
That's it.
There's a tiny segue there, but very
useful. A tiny segue, but it's just important for people who are trying to build complex skills that may want to have a back and forth conversation. It's important to know. And the reason why we're not spending too much time on it is I don't want to deviate the conversation too much. But here we have slot values, and as you see, it returns an object, which I will point out here. So slot values will be like slot item A.
Oh, item A, item B, item C.
And it'll be heard as, right, which will be like carrots. And if we start adding synonyms to carrots, or like a parent name to carrots, maybe, resolved could be like carrot, right? Now I'm complicating it. They won't have it now, but if we do use synonyms in our slot values, Alexa will do the mapping for us, right? And this will be like, it'll like carrots in our case, and is validated if
what, based on one of those, if it's a match or not?
Yes. Is validated will return if it's a match or not. So if there is a resolved value. But for now, given that we haven't added any synonyms, we're just going to be working with the heard as. So we're going to have item B. Let's just copy and paste. Why I need to rewrite everything. And item C.
Said like a typical programmer.
And item C, and here we have like aubergine, right? This is just an example. And here we have celery. How do you write celery?
L-E-R-Y, I believe. L-E-R-Y.
Like that, yes. Sorry, I just had a blank for a second. Yeah. So our code here needs to handle an object like this, right? So we won't start with hello from answer intent. We'll say something like,
so now we do the distractors.
I heard,
and the
yeah, exactly. I heard the following items. No, this is just for debugging.
Oh, okay.
Just for debugging. We'll just say, just so we see, just so we
pass
show
them
how to
in.
manage the slot values, and we'll add to say plus equals. Actually, let's do it using the new strings that I was telling you about, so that people also learn that if they haven't tried it already. If you're not a JavaScript fanatic like I am, sorry, we will. Not that I'm any good at it, but I like it. Which is not a popular. It's not a popular opinion.
Nobody's. Yeah, everyone's. Everyone
but
likes it.
I think it's a great language. So slot values dot item A dot heard as. Oops. Then we're going to add a comma. Item B. And then we're going to add another comma, and We won't debate on whether there needs to be a comma after and before the and. Is that called like the Oxford comma or something?
It's
Anyways,
that's part 4, 5.
yes, part 25 of the
Yeah,
series. We'll cover whether you should have a comma and then and or not, or omit the comma if you have and.
I think it depends on the sentence, but that's just
Okay,
me.
let's save. And let's say that we wanted to test this quickly, rather than having to go through the whole process. What we can do is do it once. So we can do open memory market.
And Reagan answered it is so.
Hello, welcome to.
And we can say something like carrots,
Aubergines and
aubergine, and celery, right? And
Carrots, aubergine, and celery.
we can just copy this input, which is what request was generated from our input here. And when we actually build the whole game, it's going to have all the session attributes. It's going to freeze the state of the game in that moment. We can copy and create a test event here. For example, we'll just make it like answer intent. Answer intent.
Where's that
Answer
capital R
intent.
coming from?
I don't know. And then we'll paste that in, and we will create. And now anytime that we want to try it, we don't have to go through the simulator. We can just hit test. And it will, I heard the following items. And if you have any console logs, it'll show up here.
So this stops us from having to go all the way to CloudWatch and just go through all that
Exactly.
stuff. It's all here. It's so much easier.
Any console
it even
logs.
links to it.
Yeah, it even links to it. And any console logs will show up here, which makes it super easy just to debug quickly if you're making changes.
I did not know it linked direct. I always went to CloudWatch and search.
Yeah. Okay. So, I want to show you the CLI, which is what we promised, and then we'll talk a little bit about session attributes and persistent attributes, which the code generator, by the way, has done already for us. You see how it has already added the attributes manager for the session attributes. So literally here, all we need to do is write to the session attributes whatever we want. Dot whatever is equal to something.
It's just like an object.
It's
isn't it?
just
Like a JSON object.
exactly. It's just an object that we can write to, and then we just have to set the attributes. Same thing for the persistent attributes. We can just pass in the session attributes, and they will be persisted for that user.
So we can show it in the JSON as well in the simulator, like to see that they're stored in the response.
Yes. So yeah, probably in order of priority. Let's do that. Let's write to the session attributes. So now we are in the answer intent, and let's start off simple and just write.
It's like item A, I guess.
I think it's trolley, right?
So add them all at once. That's easy.
Yeah. And it will be, again, these values. So we're going to need to write to the session
3
attributes
times, yeah.
after we define slot values, obviously. And we will have here, again, let's just copy in these things. So right now we're just registering in, obviously in the real game we're going to have some handling whether the item exists or not, but here just to show you the session attributes, we'll keep things simple and like that. That should work.
Yeah.
And then we.
So what does she say? What does Alexa? She's still going to say the item.
She's still going to say I heard the following items, but
we should now see in the JSON.
Write.
Yeah,
yes.
we should see in the JSON response all the items have been stored.
Yes. And to set the session attributes, all you have to do is go to handler input dot attributes manager dot set session attributes,
and you pass it in
the session attributes, and that's it.
It's a lot easier than it used to be.
Yeah.
Which is good.
The same thing is here is like set persistent attributes or save persistent attributes, I think. But we'll cover that in just a second. So let's try it out. So here we can actually try it instantly. We can just do test, and you'll see here.
Oh yeah, we don't even need to.
Session attributes. You'll see that we have. We have trolley, and we have carrots, aubergine, and celery. Now the reason why you see that there's a bunch of other stuff in the session attributes is because the code generator, let's say, adds a lot of session attributes for us. So we can remove, we can go to the interceptor. That's also an interceptor. That's also a good thing to cover here. Sorry, let me just, I'm getting a bit, yeah, here.
Tired.
Yes. So we don't want to generate all of these history session attributes.
You just comment it out, maybe.
Yes, so we can keep it actually, but we just need to unregister it when the skill builder object is instantiated.
And interceptors are they can be useful, and they're basically called right before the response hits your skill. And then if you want, you can have a response interceptor and have one right after your skill generates the response. So if you want to do any last minute validation, or you want to, whatever. There's so many use cases for it, but
yes.
It's worth.
So you see here how it has a lot of built-in interceptors, including like request persistence interceptor and these are all boilerplate codes that you can optionally enable, and it will give you the right code, and it'll actually add an interceptor to manage the saving and getting of persistent attributes. It'll also create the table for you, a table called ask memory table, which we want like memory market, but we'll do that later on, and it'll create it for you. However, to do this, you need to add the right permissions to your role, which I'll show you how to do as well to close. So
we only have 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We only have 4 minutes. So,
very conscious of time.
So we might have to cover this in the next session. But if we test it now, you'll see that our session attributes are
a lot cleaner.
A little cleaner.
Yeah. Still, I don't know how that's getting in there.
But if we try it here. So we go stop and we do.
Okay. Talk to you later.
Open memory market. Right, and you see here how the session attributes are empty.
There's nothing here.
Yes. Now we're going to go to what are we going to say? We're going to go to carrots, celery, and aubergine.
As you can see right there in the response.
Yes, you see here how the session attributes are only these things. The reason why they're showing up in the test environment is because the input, the actual test event, has a bunch of session attributes in them. You see it has the launch count, last speech history. So if we remove them and we use this new session attribute, this new JSON input, and we configure it, and we override the old one, and we save it, and we test it, you'll see session attributes are only trolley, carrots, celery, and aubergine.
Perfect.
Okay, now to close, I wanted to show you just how quickly it is. So next time we'll cover persistence. I'll be doing a bunch of coding during the week to make sure that when you come back,
got the foundation.
You have the foundation. We don't need to start, doing everything from scratch. I want us to focus on more interesting things like, the logic, randomization, persistence, leaderboards, everything. Multimodal, if we have the time. I'll do a lot of the work offline and then tell you what I've done. What I also wanted to show you quickly is if we copy the skill ID, which you can find in your skills. So if you go to build, this is a little snippet that it's like a teaser for next time, which we'll talk about So, and you go to endpoint, you can copy the skill ID, right? And then you can open the terminal, which I will do.
I know this trick.
Yes. We're going to open the terminal. I'm going to zoom in so people can see it a little better. And we will do, so we're going to go cd into my dev Alexa folder. And then we're going to do ask clone skill ID.
And now you wait.
And now it's done.
Oh, no waiting?
And now, not only do we have all of our work locally, so if I open this folder, if I cd into memory market, and I open it with my favorite code editor, VS Code. You'll see here, let me zoom in a bunch. You see here how we have the whole skill, including the Lambda, right? With everything, in all of its beauty.
And color looks nice.
And the interaction model that we've built with the item A, item C, everything locally. And I can make changes to this. I can make changes to the index.js and write whatever, right? And then I can deploy all changes. So if I make here hello, right, and I save it, I can do ask deploy target Lambda, and it's only going to affect the Lambda. Invalid skill manifest.
I think you have to force it, but it doesn't matter too much.
We will.
The other thing is on the Mac equivalent. Was it Control Shift P or is it Command Shift P?
Yeah, I have the Ask toolkit as well.
Oh, fine.
So if you do use Visual Studio Code, you should definitely check out Ask CLI.
Because it shows you all of the.
Yes, but you need the you need the toolkit.
Got it. Okay. Well, maybe next time.
This one you need to get the Alexa Skills Kit Ask toolkit, which will expose a lot of commands. Command Shift P. You can write Ask.
So
and
yeah,
do a
it's
bunch
all
of,
here. It's
yes.
so easy to do.
Yes. We will show you later. We're out of time. The last thing I wanted to show you was, yes, if you do want to get started with the CLI, the last link I'll share with you today is bit.ly/CLI guide or alexa.design/CLI. There are two different guides. The second one is, so alexa.design/CLI is a documentation. bit.ly/CLI guide is a little bit more detailed guide that I've put together. Try out both and let me know how you get on. We are 1 minute over time.
Whoops.
There may be other people trying to stream after us because we are trying to stream as much as possible and give you guys a lot of cool stuff to work on. We will do some work offline. Thank you so much for joining us. It was really a pleasure to have you with us and to have you contribute. Thank you, the Chad. Thank you, Laldi Labs. Thank you, everyone. And next time we'll look at more interesting stuff. So we are Andrea Mutoni, tech evangelist for the UK. Jamie, developer advocate for the UK as well.
Follow us on Twitter. Ask us questions.
Follow us on Twitter.
Follow the chat. Follow the Amazon Alexa channel. Follow.
Yes. Do everything.
Just follow everything.
Just do the huge.
Do the.
And we are signing out. Bye bye. Next Tuesday, 4 p.m. UK time.